Alright, welcome to another stock market update. Today is October 28, 2017. It's about 10:35 in the morning on the west coast here. Let's take a look at the market indexes. First, I got the Dow Jones Industrial. You look at the monthly, we see it's a strong monthly candle here with all-time high. And on the weekly, let's take a look at the weekly here. We see that the weekly got a little bit of a spinning top hammer here, but it is still trending up. It is still one-time framing up here. And if we take a look at the Dow Jones Transportation, see if I get this here, get the Dow Jones Transportation, go look at the monthly first. We see the monthly spinning top sitting at all-time high as well, and on the weekly it's pulling back a little bit with a outside day to engulfing candle here. Okay, and taking a look at the S&P 500, the weekly, we got a little bit of a hangman candle sitting right on top of the upper channel trend line. If we take a look at the monthly is still intact on the uptrend. It is still one-time framing up with a new all-time high. And looking at the NASDAQ 100, the NASDAQ 100 broke out to all-time high as well on the monthly, and on the weekly, it too have a very strong candle last week. Although it put in a lower high, a lower low from the previous week. But the week finished off with a very strong gain here. And on the Russell, let's take a look at the monthly first. The Russell, the monthly is still sitting up near these upper trend line here on this channel, and it is getting a little bit of a narrow range on the monthly here. But on the weekly, it is kind of consolidating. Did put in a lower low this week, and a lower high. So we probably could see a little bit of a possible pullback. Okay, so let's go and take a look at the ETF. All right, so let me put this on. And first, looking at the diamond on the daily, we see the diamond. We got some of these zone level here. Let me zoom this in. We got these level here. Essentially, we need to get back to a new high, all-time high. If we pull back, we're basically looking for these things to come back to this 233 level. So what it needs is to get above the 234.70. I believe this is the all-time high. And if it below this this level here at the 232.35, then essentially it is forming a lower low. Then we can see a possible pullback. If it get below here, then maybe we get something of a pullback here and come down and fill this gap here. But if it continues to push up above this this high, then essentially it made a higher high. Then we can see a pullback later on after we see a new pivot high here on the diamond. And if we take a look at the spider, okay, the recent low here is the 254 right here. Okay, the 254, and then the all-time high here intraday on Friday is 257.89. All right, so what it does is we need to keep an eye on this level here, make sure that it stay above this this low. So if we get a pullback, let's say for example next week, maybe we get a little push up and then start pulling back. If it dip below this level, then we basically could potentially see it come back down to this 251.34, and then on the next bounce, and we need to watch for that high there. Okay, so let me put this out here, and we do that. So essentially what I'm saying is that here's the low, and if we get a push up next week, right, to make another new low, I mean a new high. And on any kind of pullback, we want to make certain that it will stay above this low. If it's not, then essentially it made a new lower low. Then on any kind of bounce, then we could start seeing this reversal of trend that possibly get to a lower high, lower low, that type of endeavor here, this type of formation. So even though let's say come Monday it just start pulling back, and want to see it stay above this this level here, okay, which is the 254 area. If you can stay above the 254, then this particular trend, this trend remain intact here. Essentially, you see a higher low and a higher high. Okay, all right. So that's the SPY. And if we look at the Q, the Q made it all new all-time high, and again, it needs to stay above this 146 here, this area here, this low here. So let's say gonna pull back. If it pull back, dip below this low, then we essentially see this guy make a lower low, and if it come up one bounce, then we have to be cautious about that. Okay, so but if it continue to push up, then what we essentially gonna see is would it be able to get up to this 2618, which is around the 153.28. That would be the next level up. Okay, and then on the IWM, the Russell 2000, and again we're seeing the Russell pulling back. And here what I have changed right now, let me kind of shrink this up. Okay, what I have changed is the instead of looking this as a bull flag, right? Last week we were looking at this type of a formation. Let me blow this up here. Okay. So instead of looking this as a bull flag last week, right now I changed that to look at this thing as a trading band. Right. So essentially, okay. So want to see would it be able to break above the new high, and if it can't do that, let's say this right here continue to pull back, then this is the low that we have to keep an eye on. If it get below this low, which is somewhere around 147.22, and then we'll basically form a lower low, then we could see it come down to this level 144.46. Okay, so we gotta watch these price action, and if it continue to push up, break above this, the all-time high, which is 150.41. Okay, then that will be a breakout of this trading band. Then we're basically looking for the possible move of up here, maybe around this 200% level off of this symmetry here, okay, and this retracement or extension to this 154.38. Right, so basically that's what we are watching for the indexes. And now let's take a look at the FAANG stock. Okay, first we'll take a look at Facebook here. Okay, so Facebook is scheduled to report earnings on Wednesday, so be aware of that. Right now, if we take a look at the, it's basically it's continued to be on the uptrend on all time frame. Let's switch this to a monthly. Okay. So you can see, it's continued to trend up, right, on Facebook on the monthly, and on the weekly, right, same thing. Right, it's basically it's higher low. So on the daily, we see that it made a new high on Friday. So we need to see on any kind of pullback, we need to see it hold this level here, this low, basically is somewhere around the 168.89. Okay, So that's essentially we're basically looking for these holding these low to avoid forming a lower low, because once we see a lower low, then that could be a beginning of a potential pullback. Okay, so that's why we want to keep an eye on these pivot low level here, and if it's continue to push, then we're basically looking at these extension here on a higher level, 183.02 on this 127 extension, and then 186.95 on 141 extension. Then on Apple, again, Apple is scheduled to report earnings on Thursday, so gotta be careful about that. And essentially, we're looking for Apple to see could it push to and make a new all-time high, which is above this 164. Well, it needs to stay above. Yeah, and this all-time high is about 164.94, I believe. Let me see what that price is. Yeah, and essentially what we need to see is stay above this low here, which is 155.02. Okay, and if it could stay above this low, then it essentially continue to to make a higher low. Okay, and let's take a look at the Amazon. Okay, Amazon reported earnings and got a real blowout yesterday. On Friday, and it moved up to all-time high. And right now, we're essentially looking for this thing to continue to move up. If it pushes to new high, to this 1124, this 127 extension, and 141, possibly 1146. Okay, and on any kind of pullback, we're basically looking at these level for support, for the possible gap fill here on Amazon. And what we need to see is when it pull back, you need to hold this particular low. Okay, right. So that's basically what we need to see. And if it cannot hold this low, then we will most likely see a pullback coming down to this 930. So I guess the first level that we want to keep an eye on is essentially Friday's low, right? And that would be 1050.55. If it break through that Friday's low, then we'd be looking at this particular level here of support, 1032.85. Okay, and then finally Netflix. Okay, Netflix is also continue to trend up on all time frame. If we take a look at the monthly, and the monthly here, monthly, right. Okay, don't know what happened to my keyboard here. Alright, so let's go to the monthly, and you can see that the monthly, it's got a lot of lines on there. It's still trending up, higher high, higher low, and then you got the weekly here, right? Same thing, weekly. Okay, and then the daily. Alright, so what we essentially are looking at for Netflix is need to hold about 191.04. Basically, it's down here at these low here. Okay, and see could it push to take out the all-time high. If it pull back and get below, essentially get to this zone, then we could see it might start pulling back to a lower level. Okay. And then we have Google, right? And Google reported earnings and shut up, and this is pretty negative in terms of a candle formation with such a long wick. Finish up with a low body here, and that is a shooting star, and that could be very bearish. So we gotta pay attention to the low, okay, on in the coming week. If we break below this 1026.85, then look for Google to come back down to possibly fill this gap here and retest this zone here. Again, if it break below this low here, this pivot low, somewhere around, what's that, 977.08, then we got to be watch out for a potential pullback down to this particular zone at this 919 level. Okay, so essentially that's all I have for now, and good luck with the trading next week, and enjoy your weekend. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up to give it a like, and if you're not a subscriber to my YouTube video channel, please click on the subscribe to subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.